This is a scary but true babysitting story. My friend Allie had just graduated college and she needed to make some extra money, so she put up ads in Craigslist offering babysitting services, and that was how she met this man named Caleb who had 3 children. Caleb hires Allie, but he has rules she has to follow. No TV, no radio, no crayons, no drawing, no stuffed animals, no dolls, any kind of characters. They can't talk about their mother, go outside, leave the house, or talk to anyone outside the house. She said, well, what can they do? He said they can play with each other, they can play with their toys, board games, they can sing, but that's it. And she would later find out there was a big reason he had all those rules. Allie asked Caleb, what happened to the kid's mother? Where is she? Caleb said, we don't talk about her. She abandoned us. She's a junkie. She chose drugs over us, so I took the kids and moved, and I've been raising them by myself ever since. So within a few weeks of working there, her and Caleb hit it off, and they start dating. One day while babysitting, the youngest child starts talking about his mother and how the last time he saw her, she had a big boo-boo on her head and wouldn't wake up. And Allie said, what happened? Before he could answer, the oldest child came in the room and said, stop talking about mommy. You know daddy don't like it. We'll get in trouble. Allie said, no, honey, it's fine. You can talk about your mommy in front of me. I don't mind. I'd like to hear about her. And the oldest said, no, don't talk about mommy. We'll get in trouble. Like, she started crying. That hit Allie the wrong way. She said, look, when he gets home, I'm going to have a talk with him about this because y'all should be allowed to talk about your own mother. And the oldest begged her, no, please don't tell daddy, please. But when Caleb got off work, Allie sent the kids to their room and she brought it up to him. Allie said, well, since I hear the kids can't even talk about their own mother. Caleb said, no, I don't want them talking about that trash bag whore. I don't want her name brought up in my house. She left us. She abandoned them. Allie said, it's not right. You don't let them remember or talk about their own mother. And you bash her to their face like that. That's only hurting them. They love her. He said, well, she don't love them. She's not here, is she? She said, I get it. You're angry that she abandoned y'all, but that don't make what you're doing okay. He said, well, they're my kids and I'll do what I want with them. And if you don't like it, you can leave. So she left. Well, the next morning, Caleb called Allie and apologized and said, look, you're right. My kids should be able to talk about their mom and I want you to come back. Please come back. Fast forward a few months, Caleb and Allie are still together and now Allie is living with them full time. So Caleb tells Allie that he found out the kids' mother was trying to take the children back. So now he doesn't want Allie to leave the house unless he's with her, just in case the mom tries something. Allie said, why can't y'all just sit down and work this out and co-parent? He said, because my ex is crazy and strung out. She'll kidnap the kids and trade them for drugs. She's done it before. We have to keep them away from her and her family. One day they're at the grocery store when this woman walks up and says, hey Caleb, can I see the kids? And Caleb screams, no, leave us alone, and then grabs the kids and runs out to the car. Allie said, what the hell's going on? Who was that? Caleb said, that's my ex, their mother. I told you she was going to try to kidnap them. We can't take the kids out anymore. They have to stay home. Now Allie is at home full time with the kids, homeschooling them, and they're even calling her mommy, and she believes everything Caleb is telling her. So one day Allie goes to her mom's house to get the rest of her stuff, and her mom says, look, a PI came by here and said it's urgent they talk to you. Here's his card. He wants you to call him back ASAP. So she calls him back and he says, look, I'm a retired police officer, but I work as a PI and I'm helping the police with this cold case that I really need to talk to you about. They meet up and the PI asks, are you dating Caleb Blank? Allie said, yeah, for over a year now. Why? He said, because he's the main suspect in a missing person case. She said, who's missing? He said, the kid's mother. She disappeared a couple of years ago and the last people who saw her alive was Caleb and those kids, so we need to find her. Allie said, well, I can put all this to bed right now. She's alive. We saw her in a store a while back. She was trying to speak to the kids, but Caleb wouldn't let her. We left. The PI pulled out a picture and said, is this the woman you saw in the store? Allie said, yeah, that's her. The PI said, that's not his ex-wife. That's her sister, his sister-in-law. We sent her there to make contact with the kids, hoping they would say something about their mother, but it didn't work because y'all left. Every time the family and the police try to make contact, he won't allow it. We even sent CPS workers out to his house and he wouldn't open the door and he keeps moving. Allie said, well, he told me she was strung out really bad. The PI said, no, she was never on drugs. Her job regularly drug tested her and she always passed, and she was a damn good mother. She would never have left her kids like that. Allie said, can you show me a picture of the mother? So the PI showed her. Allie said, oh my God, Caleb's been lying to me about her this entire time. She said, well, why hasn't he been arrested? The PI said, because there's no body, no evidence. He won't cooperate with the police and he won't let the kids talk to the police. We have nothing. But we think he's going to unalive those kids at some point. Allie said, why would he do that? He said, because we think they witnessed their mother's murder. They're witnesses. And as of right now, those kids are the only thing linking him to this crime. 2 weeks ago, he filed life insurance policies on each child for $800,000 apiece, but not one on himself. Allie said, I swear I had no idea. Allie said, oh my God, it makes sense. He's got a cruise planned for next month and the kids don't want to go because they can't swim. They're scared to death of water, but he's making them go anyways. I thought he was making them go because we don't have a babysitter, but this could be it. The PI said that's probably what it is. So either you need to get out or get on board and help us catch him. Allie said, I love those kids like they're my own. I got to get them babies out of there. What do you need me to do? He said, we need to talk to those kids because they might can tell us where her body is and then we'll have enough evidence to arrest him, but you're the only one he leaves alone with them, so can you make that happen? She said, yeah. He said, whatever you do when you get back home, act normal, pretend like everything's fine. Don't make him suspicious. But all she had to do was play her cards right and act normal until he went to work the next morning, and that's what she did. So while Caleb was at work, Allie let the police in the house to talk to the kids, and then they took the kids down to the station for a forensic interview. The tech gave the kids crayons and paper and said, I want you to draw me a picture of what you saw the last time you were with your mother. Where were you? What were y'all doing? The middle child said, no, we can't talk about mommy. Daddy will get mad. We'll get in trouble. The interviewer said, it's okay. You can talk about whatever you want here. It's a safe space. One of the kids drew a big blue square around a stick figure, and when the cop asked, what is that? The child child said that's Mommy's blanket. It's keeping her warm because it's cold in that hole. Mama has a big boo-boo on her head. It won't stop bleeding and she can't wake up. She won't talk to us. One child even said, did anyone take Mommy food? Did she have food on Thanksgiving? Who feeds Mommy? How does she get food? Like, this child was very concerned about his mother eating. So the oldest child draws her mother as a stick figure in a blue barrel, and when they asked how did she get in there, she said Daddy put her in the blue barrel because she was sleeping. The woman said, do you know where that barrel is? Where's your mommy? And the child said, at me, Mom, Papa's house. To my Caleb's parents' house on their property. You could tell these kids have been waiting so long to get this stuff off their chest. The police bring Caleb down to the station for an interview where he denies everything and even calls his kids delusional and a bunch of little liars. He even blames his in-laws like they're trying to set me up. If anything happened to her, they did it. So the police search the parents' property, and way out in the woods is where they find blue barrels and a shallow grave. The kids were right. Then Caleb tries to pin the crime on his father, but all the kids testified their grandfather was nowhere around. The only person there was Caleb and the kids. And it was proven with evidence his parents were not involved, and they had no idea her body was on their property the entire time. The police uncover a big blue tarp that she was wrapped up in, just like the child had told them, her blanket. Which means the children saw this, and when they asked their father what that tarp was, he told them it was a blanket to keep their mom warm while she was in that hole. How sick. And there was blunt force trauma to her head, neck, and face, just like the kids said. Initially, he put her in the blue barrel, but later came back and buried her in a shallow grave, and both times he brought the kids with him and even had them participate in disposing of their mom's body. It turned out Caleb had all his rules for his kids because he didn't want them talking about or drawing out scenes from the murder they witnessed. So Caleb was arrested, and the kids were put into foster care for a few weeks up until the mom's family gained custody. Caleb was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, and his parental rights were terminated. He's applied for parole several times, but has always been denied because he shows no remorse and takes no accountability. Oh, and the mom's family let Allie stay in the kids' lives because they were so appreciative of her solving their daughter's murder and putting that monster away. They got their grandkids back because of her.